RICO Act. And then I wanted to mention, too, that even if Biden wins, if he gets in, and we're all screwed, it's not going to be long before leftists realize that the censorship has gone way too far. There's going to be a massive backlash against the censorship by these tech giants. Because, leftists, they want to talk about things that are not in alignment with corporate America. For example, they want to talk about the dangers of GMOs. They want to talk about natural herbal medicine. They may want to talk about, free energy or new age topics or consciousness or whatever. Or just home gardening, living off the grid, being a self-reliant hippie. And those topics won't be allowed either because they don't promote the corporate agendas. So even if Biden were to get in, without Trump to hate on, it wouldn't be long before the left would realize they made a horrible mistake and they were actually played by the media into a hate campaign. And without Trump to hate, eventually the hate's going to wear off and the spell's going to be broken. They're going to come to their senses and say, whoa, what did we just do? We're now living under a authoritarian censorship society, and we can't even talk about the things that we want to talk about. And this is why so many people are leaving the Democrat plantation, by the way, and not necessarily joining the GOP, because the GOP is dead and it sucks, but just saying they're not going to be part of the authoritarianism and intolerance of the left. And the geopolitical landscape of America, it's going to gut the cities. The cities are not going to be very habitable 5 years from now. And we're already starting to see the early signs of this in terms of people leaving New York City and Los Angeles and so on. So that's one big geopolitical change that's underway that's going to be caused by vaccines. The other thing that's really critical to understand here is that people are now self-selecting to migrate across America in accordance with their political beliefs. So many people are leaving California and moving to Utah or Idaho or Arizona or even Texas. Lots of Californians coming to Texas. People are moving from New York to Florida. People are leaving cities like Chicago due to the impending financial collapse of the state of Illinois. And granted, if Biden manages to become president, he's going to have big bailouts for Illinois and Chicago and so on. But those bailouts are going to be accomplished with fake fiat currency, which will only collapse the dollar nationwide fairly soon anyway, which would gut every city. So my assessment is that the cities are not going to become very livable quite soon, and it's a good idea to get out of the cities. And the future of America, because of these mass vaccinations, the future of America is going to be a country mostly populated by anti-vaxxers, because the vaccine people will be either dead or infertile over a number of years, of course. But that's coming. So remember, this is a global depopulation program. And part of the reason that the globalists wanted Biden to win is because Biden promises to lock you down. 100 days of lockdowns or mass mandates, and then followed by vaccine mandates, and followed by gun confiscation. I guess they could just come to your house and do it all at once. Knock, knock, knock. We're here. Give us your guns and stick out your arm. We're going to vaccinate you and wear a mask, and we're going to lock your door. You're a prisoner. Bye. And I guess Democrats would say, "Oh, sure, that's awesome. Here, go ahead and inject me. Here's my 9mm pistol. You can have it. I don't need it because you're keeping me safe." And the Democrats just, "Yeah, I'll wear my mask and I won't leave my home. I'm a good Democrat." But if they try knocking on doors of real Americans that way, it's gonna be like, knock, knock, knock. We're here to take your guns. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Those are rounds being fired from inside the house. We're here to take your guns. And then there'll be a phone call back to headquarters like, "Oh, looks like we're going to need another gun confiscation team." That one got wasted. All right. But the bottom line summary in all of this, which is actually good news, is that this nightmare too shall end. This nightmare shall end. I don't know exactly how it's going to end. I don't know all the people I named in today's broadcast, I don't know if they're all right or wrong, or if some of them are actual CIA spooks. I don't know. But I know that at the end of this, the terror will end. I know that the solution will emerge, because even if Biden's in charge, the system is so corrupt and so filled with con artistry and fakery, the system will collapse. And we will be presented with an opportunity to rebuild a new society rooted in liberty and decentralization of power, freedom of speech, and spiritual attunement, Christian principles, and so on. We will have that opportunity. Whether it's now or a couple of years from now, in the long term, it matters little. Yeah, we are going to be persecuted if Biden's in, as I mentioned yesterday, but even that persecution will not last forever. We have to have the spiritual strength and the moral integrity to survive it. And I believe we do. On the other hand, if it comes down to a Trump victory through a military coup, well, guess what? It's also going to take a lot of, spiritual. So America's going to go through a very difficult time either way. Oh, and by the way, as part of the military coup, if that's what happens, to save the republic, they would, by definition, have to take down the left-wing media. And they would have to take down big tech. Which is why I'm rooting for that solution. I would love to see the treasonous media taken down and treasonous big tech taken down. And have fair and free elections on paper ballots. Even if they held a new election, let's do it again. I'll show up and vote for Trump on a paper ballot. Happy to do that. Let's just rerun the whole thing. But we are going to be presented with opportunities here. Okay? So what matters is that we hold to our principles, hold to our faith during all of this. This should be a time of prayer and preparedness. This should be a time of asking God for guidance and for strength. Because we don't know which future is going to reveal itself over the next 7 days. There's a fork in the road ahead. One way leads to Biden as president, the other way leads to Trump as president eventually. Either way is going to be filled with strife and some suffering and a lot of chaos. Either way. In the end, the reason I think the left loses is because the American spirit is still alive and well in the American people. It's something they haven't stolen from us. They haven't beat that spirit out of our minds and out of our hearts and souls. They haven't been able to drug enough of us with their fluoride control systems yet. Yeah, they've drugged the city people, which is why they're so easily turned into raging lunatic zombie mobs, by the way. There is an actual fluoride, physiochemical process that's related to that. Maybe I'll talk about that another day. But most Americans have not been put under that spell. So America is resilient. America will come back. America will survive. I mean the American spirit, the American people, the American philosophy. It doesn't mean that the United States of America will survive, because that system may collapse, but the American spirit lives on and can be part of what's recreated in a new society or a new nation. The fake fiat money system will collapse, but we can have a new honest money system, and maybe that's part of Trump's plan. I mean, Trump